These comments are for Big D, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. So you're entering my independent speaking practice test number 20. So here's the topic. Some people prefer to eat at food stands or restaurants. Other people prefer to prepare and eat food at home. Which do you prefer? Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. So overall, I just read your essay, and here's what I see here. You have a score of 2.0 out of 5, 14 points out of 30, or 64 points out of 100. So to see the ETS rubrics used to score this practice test, you can click on that link. But let me explain to you why I gave you the score I did. So I think here we have a large number of errors in sentence structure and or usage. We have inappropriate word choice or word forms, inappropriate lack of details, examples, and explanations, so you can probably develop ideas a little bit more and also improve the grammatical proficiency or correctness of what you have written. So that's kind of where we are. Alright, so let's take a look at your first paragraph here. So I will try to make changes as I go with it. So first of all, you have some you have very important. You have a lot of kind of redundancy and repetition going on here, right? So you have human life, very important for eating. But you want to change the order there and say eating is important for human life. So you want to use that word order. So put the subject as eating, and then you have human life. And then maybe you can combine this, maybe something like inasmuch as. Put the body gets, you might say, self-sustaining. And this is where you can improve is your grammar. You need college level grammar here. Then you might put here cause-effect word, therefore. You might say a variety of fruits. Vegetables, grains, dairy, and meat. You might say here, you might say, I always care about what I eat. Let's continue on here and see what we have. So therefore, trying to eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, and meat, I care about what I eat, because food is, we already had important, right? You might want to say Okay, because food is crucial for my health. And I'm going to get rid of the very important thing. You're repeating a lot of things unnecessarily, right? So you said it's important. You're saying that food is important here. You don't have to say it a third time. So, therefore, trying to eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, and meat, I care about what I eat because food is crucial for my health, and I should always be selective about the food before I eat it. And this is where you need your thesis here. So although we need to repeat this idea here. This is where you need your thesis. Eating home is less expensive. What did I do? I'm just taking this idea. I'm taking your first key point of your first paragraph and putting it into your thesis. The first reason no, that's not the idea here. It looks like this. You're saying that it's not healthy. Okay, so you're saying that eating at home is more healthy. Looks like that's your point here, right? The next one, the next idea is the expense idea. Okay, it's less expensive, and then let's go to your third point. Now the third reason is it's too similar to what you've already said. If you're talking about expense in one paragraph, there's no need to continue on in another paragraph. The purpose is to develop that idea and then move on to another topic. You see what I'm saying here? So we're probably going to have to combine those two paragraphs there. What if you said, and more convenient? Why not make that a key point? Which means you don't have to drive anywhere you don't have to wait in line at a restaurant to get your food. You can simply prepare it at home when you want, day or night. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So these are some changes I'm making with your introduction. Okay, so let's take a look at this first paragraph and then we will move on. How many words do we have here? So we are 77. Okay, we may work on that again. So remember that you have less expensive here, you have less expensive here, and you have expense here. It's too many of the same ideas, right? So this idea here, you're saying that it's healthier to eat at home. That is your idea, right? So I prefer to eat at home because I can choose healthier options. For my meals. This is why we've got to get rid of a lot of this stuff here. Now notice you say, okay, we got to look at the health thing. It's no problem with my body when I cook myself. It is good taste. Now you have too many different ideas here. You're not developing this paragraph enough. So we need to develop this paragraph only focusing on healthier options. Right? Okay, in this paragraph, let's take a look at what I did here. So, first of all, I'm starting right off with my topic sentence that focuses on my first point of health, right? So I say, I prefer to eat at home because I can choose healthier options for my meals. For example, last week I cooked potatoes, peppers, green beans, and a chicken breast by only adding 1/4 cup of water in a pot and by steam cooking it for 15 minutes. I did not add any cooking oil, nor did I put any other seasonings on my meal except a dash of salt. Now, I'm showing you this. I'm using some advanced type grammar here, which is what you want to try to do to improve your academic writing, right? So if you're not sure what I'm doing, go to the grammar part of my course. I have a grammar lesson. It's called Subject Verb Inversions. Study that lesson. That'll give you some good ideas on how you can change the word order of your sentences. Here, had I gone to a restaurant such as Olive Garden to eat, the chefs would have put a lot of oil, extra seasonings, and too much salt on my meal, which would have been very unhealthy for my body. Therefore, being able to cook at home gives me control over what I eat and what I add or don't add to the meal, so I can maintain my health much better by eating in this manner. And there it is. So now we've developed this one paragraph. If you look at this, this is 147 words that we use to develop this one idea. Now we're moving to your next idea. And what we're going to do here is we're going to combine these two paragraphs together because they're both focusing on expense, right? So healthier is definitely one support point that we're focusing on. You might say, eating at home is less expensive if I am shopping in the market and cooking that food at home. So you're talking about shopping at the market, right? But you're still not very specific there, right? So then you might say something like this. So you have 2 weeks ago I went to Stater Brothers Market to buy half of the food that I would need for this month. Notice how I'm using a colon to introduce the ideas here. Cheese, rice, meat, eggs, vegetables, cereal, yogurt, chili, and so on. Now if you're not sure about the colon, semicolon, comma, and any other punctuation for writing purposes, you can go to the grammar part of my course. And guess what? I have some really good lessons that can help you understand how to punctuate ideas when you're right, so you can check that out. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this idea, the $10 thing. So you say the meals cooked from these foods cost me around $10 a day. Therefore, eating at home will cost me approximately, you might say here, $200 to $300 monthly. Then you want to talk about maybe eating at restaurants. I like your use of the word farmer boys. That's a good idea here. So you might say, in contrast, and then we will say this idea. When I came to the United States for the first time, I always ate, I'm going to put at Farmer Boys and other restaurants. You might say the cost of eating out in this manner was between $30 and $40, would end up costing me, you might say, $900 to $1,200 monthly, which is which is too expensive. So I think we have it. And then you might say something like this. Hence, to save money, I always eat food at home after I cook it myself. Which is why I prefer, how about maybe eating at home Alright, so let's take a look at this paragraph. This is a big one. We probably need to shorten it just a little bit. Well, that's 155. So you have eating at home is less expensive if I'm shopping in the market and cooking that food at home. 2 weeks ago I went to Stater Brothers Market to buy half of the food that I would need for this month. Cheese, rice, meat, eggs, vegetables, cereal, yogurt, chili, and so on. The meals I cook for these foods cost me around $10 a day. Therefore, eating at home will cost me approximately $200 to $300 monthly. In contrast, when I came to the United States for the first time, I always ate at Farmer's Boys and other restaurants. The cost of eating out in this manner was between $30 and $40 a day, which would end up costing me $900 to $1,200 monthly, which was too expensive. Since, to save money, I always eat food at home after I cook it myself. And you don't even need to say this, so we're going to shorten up this paragraph a little bit, and we are done with this. Right, so what we've done here is, in terms of changing and looking at your essay, instead of having these three ideas around expense, 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 we have one paragraph focusing on the health benefits of eating at home. We have another paragraph focusing around the cost of eating at home compared to eating out at restaurants. And now we simply need to go to one other idea here, which is convenience. That's what we want to do in our final paragraph, is to talk about convenience. Notice how in this particular paragraph, I'm moving to my third body paragraph. I want to show you a trick. This is what we call mastering the art of the transition sentence here, D. So notice this. I said, in addition to maintaining a healthy body and saving my hard-earned money, I prefer to eat at home since it is more convenient. So the healthy body idea, right, you'll notice that that's what I mentioned in this second paragraph. I can choose healthier options. And then I have another idea. It says saving my hard-earned money. And this ties back to the previous paragraph where it talks about less expensive. And then in the main part of this particular sentence, I introduce my topic. I prefer to eat at home since it is more convenient. It says I prefer to eat at home since it is more convenient. You see that? So let's take a look at what we did with this paragraph. So it says, in addition to maintaining a healthy body and saving my hard-earned money, I prefer to eat at home since it is more convenient. Typically, I eat dinner around 6 p.m. daily, and when I'm ready to eat, I walk into the kitchen and spend 20 to 30 minutes preparing and cooking my meal. For instance, last Friday, I prepared rice, eggs, and a hamburger patty for dinner, which is very easy to cook and took about 30 minutes to prepare. On the other hand, if I eat out at restaurants, I will need to choose a place to eat, find the directions to the restaurant, drive to the establishment in heavy traffic conditions, and then wait 30 to 45 minutes before I actually get to sit down to order my meal. Then I have to wait another 30 minutes or more before the meal is cooked. As a result, eating out at food stands is not convenient for me. There we go. Now we have the conclusion here. So what do we do here? In the conclusion, we need to include what we call our three support points, or we need to somehow restate the thesis here, right? So I'm going to show you how you can do that in just a minute. Okay, so let's take a look at this paragraph. So this is what you wrote for your conclusion, and we need to rewrite the conclusion so that restates the main points of our essay. So instead of that, we might say something like this. We are what we eat. Someone said a long time ago to illustrate the importance of choosing wisely what we put into our bodies. In this regard, we can better control our food if we prepare it at home, which not only helps us to improve our health, but also enables us to save money and precious time and convenience. So here, if you look at this particular paragraph, we have, in this idea here, we're using these ideas. This is what we're restating from your paragraph, is the health, the money, and the convenience thing. How about, it helps us to improve. I need to do something right here. You might say something like this. I think we could do this. So which not only helps us to improve our health, but also enables us to save money and precious time, thereby making our lives more convenient. So now we have restated the most important points in the paragraph.